Perhaps he lit the lanterns upon his return? We cannot dismiss the possibility, but even if these Ondo refuse to speak with us. Sir, do you remember my first scheme for entering Yulmore? How I had planned to integrate myself by offering lucrative trade opportunities with the Ondo. And the individual I dealt with was reticent in manner and curious in custom, but we were able to reach an agreement nonetheless. I believe that with the right approach, we can build a similar relationship here. What kind of approach do you have in mind? That chieftain fellow will leave us many options. If we are to tread the swiftest course, then we must needs locate its beginning. 'Tis plain our all too dramatic arrival hath thrown the settlement into confusion. Were we to solve such problems as we has caused, and assure our hosts thereby that our purpose here is not inimical to them, they may yet prove amenable to reason. I smell chores, but very well, if it can be done quickly. What do you think? I have nothing better to offer, but I do worry that what will happen if the Ondo's tales end up leading us to a dead end. I cannot say for certain, but I sense this tribe has a deeper connection to the Asians than the first meets the eye. It warrants further investigation, thus I cast my vote in favor of aiding the settlement for the time being. We will make allies of the Ondo. All will be allies. Then it's settled. Y'shtola, pray proceed with your investigations. The rest of us will see about fostering some goodwill. Sir, you won't believe who I've just bumped into. This is Pasha's Owen, the very fellow I did business with prior to our ill-fated stay in Yulmore. I waited and you did not come. Then the mist still came, but his visits did not continue. I am truly sorry, Pasha's Owen. Things did not proceed as planned. Is there aught we can do for you by way of apology? Perhaps. Where the dry return, a cavern to the north is home to giant crabs. We do not fear the crab, for we are the swiftest swimmers. But now there is no water. We run and they scuttle close behind, snipping and snapping with their claws. There are too many of them, too many. I believe that we can be of assistance here. And what of you, sir? If you've not found a task, you are most welcome to join me. Indeed, I should appreciate the company. Where the dry return has a rather ominous ring to it. Oh, it's that fucking cave I died in earlier. The Cave of Pain. I better help this poor guy out. Ah, he fucking died. That sucks. Not much I can do about that. thing. Fuck you! What the fuck? Fuck that. Man, no wonder that guy fucking died. Spread out. Alright, I'll try this one again as I venture my way through. I'll have a lot to deal with, it looks like. It's alright, as long as I get in here and I take out the shit that... I'm only doing this little fate because there's a dude up here. God, why do I do this? I know I got so much shit to do. Seven quests to get to the end, and it's 2:23 in the morning. And I'm gonna be up by fucking, I think I said, told the wife to wake me up at like noon. big boy. What the fuck is killing me? Fuck, that was... Man, I almost fucking died there. Alright. No interest in killing these guys. My interest lieth elsewhere. Yeah, I'd be pissed if I were these guys. Like, this fucking dude just rolls up in here and dries up the entire land. Entire homeland. Shit bricks. Could crack their shells. You must be stronger than you look. I see that you've reached your quota first again. I shall never be your equal in such tasks. Still, I would say we have reduced the local crab population to a far less threatening number. My thanks to both of you. You must have a reward. Nay, Patron. This was to be a part of my apology to you, remember? Besides which, the lack of water is our doing, for which we must also make amends. Might I convince you to tell us something about your village instead? I would very much like to learn more of you and your people. Very well. Before the flood came, it is said that our ancestral home was found in the seas to the was utterly destroyed by the light. Only those who were out hunting survived. They swam aimless and lost until they spied buildings here on the ocean floor. Strange buildings they were, and long had they stood under the water, yet somehow they had been spared the scars of time and current. These structures provided shelter for my people, protection from the tempest's turbulent waters, and the predators which hunted within them. Their very existence seemed a miracle. The first settlers pondered their good fortune. It was clear that the race who had built such wonders had guided their course, and from this did they discern the truth. That the ancients had chosen us to serve as caretakers of their eternal sanctuary until such time as they return. Thus, if it is judged that your coming and this great vanishing of order was by the ancients' design, you will find warm welcome here. A truly astonishing history, yet I cannot help but wonder how will the significance, or otherwise, of our arrival be decided. The ancients have blessed us with protection and prosperity. Your presence serves to bring us the same. There will be no doubt in the matter. Then it would seem our earlier decision was the correct one. We thank you for the lesson, Partially, and we will continue to do all we can to assist your people. Should you desire our help with any other trouble, pray do not hesitate to ask. We should return to the task at hand, only do try to not to overexert yourself, my friend. The risk far outweighs the gain. Sounds good. Ah, sir, have you learned aught of note? Fascinating, and precisely the sort of information I was hoping to hear. In fact, if you have a moment, I'd like to borrow your eyes to confirm a theory I've been working on. Come. Is it the theory of multiple orgasms? Because, I got your back. God. Now there are two tasks I would have you perform. The first requires you, I knew it, to inspect the buildings which surround the Ondo settlement and note their most distinctive characteristics. For the second, I wish you use this knife to take scrapings from one of the remnant walls. Pray be as thorough as you can. I shall be waiting here for the results of your investigations. God. The tall, slender towers feature many elaborate windows, the likes of which you have seen nowhere else. What about those green balls? No, that's it. You set the point of the knife against the wall, but even after applying considerable pressure, you cannot remove so much as a flake of stone. It's pretty hardcore building material there. They don't make them like they used to, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. And what have you discovered? Yes, I would agree that the windows are most distinctive. 'Twould seem the structures appear the same to both your sight and mine. Yet you're blind, so, thanks for the underhanded insult there. And you say you could not so much as scratch the wall, even with all your might behind the blade. Sir, everywhere I turn in this place, my gaze is drawn by peculiar materials for which I do not have a name. The buildings I had you investigate are prime examples. They may appear to be constructed of ordinary stone, but I assure you it is nothing of the sort. If pressed, I would describe the substance as a composite of several mineral properties, blended to create a material of unparalleled durability. Even in the Ronkin Empire, once the greatest power in Norvrant, produced nothing which compares to this level of perfection. How does she know all this shit? Like, we just barely got it. Oh no, she's been here a while. But if not the Ronkins, then who? Who were these ancients the Ondo claim as the architects of their sanctuary? I suspect our answer lies with the reason Emmett Selk withdrew here to the Tempest. He may simply have wished to retreat somewhere where mortals would struggle to reach, but there are many such remote locations. Why here, specifically? Emmett Selk is devoted to his role, and thus we might assume his choice of stronghold somehow serves the Asian agenda. Or mayhap, 'tis a place more dear to him than any other. Are you saying this place was built by Asians? That is my theory, that these structures are remnants of a time before history, of a star that was yet whole and unbroken. Such traces in the source would have been obliterated by the succession of umbral calamities, but here in the first they might have remained untouched for millennia. A copy of the mural in the Katana Ravel. Almec presented it to me during my visit to Fanau after our victory in Kalusia. Here in the first scene, by Emmett Selk's own words, it depicts a city of eons past and the disaster which befell it. The design is much simplified, of course, but you see the similarities between its towers and those you've just inspected. We are close to the truth, I feel. Let us search the surrounds for another tower, one which matches the picture near enough to remove all doubt. From what I have seen, not more than sand and more sand lies to the east, and the south held no such structures. I suggest we try our luck further to the northwest. To the northwest it is. You know, Joe actually told me where to go for this quest. He sent me a picture of the coordinates, but it just doesn't feel right, you know? Feels like cheap. Northwest of the Ondo Cups.
This is that one from before. There's gotta be some area over here that leads downwards. Man, this is a big area. Yeah. Come on, give me a different one.
fuck it, I look it up. I guess I'm like right on top of it.
X 21.9, Y 11.0.
I didn't see shit when I was over here. What? I was fucking right here. How did I not see it before? Sorry, I cheated. I feel bad. I don't want to play this fucking games anymore. Oh shit, that is it. Aw, what? I thought I was looking for like a huge thing. Aye, this is the Muir writ large. I've passed that like 5 times, though I cannot guess at its purpose. It must have been an imposing sight. How much of the tower's height lies hidden beneath the ground, I wonder. Centuries of old history have settled upon such ruins, countless layers of dust and sediment, an entire civilization, its existence forgotten by all except a handful of Assyrians. And yet it did exist. They lived here in this city. But let us focus on what we've learned thus far. The Undo chieftain spoke of mystery stirring, of land illuminated. Judging by his words, he believes this phenomenon related to the ancients' return. Thus can we surmise what the Undo saw shining in the abyss was, in all likelihood, yet another remnant of this age-old civilization. And who else would light the lanterns, as Ryan put it, than Emmett Selk himself? It is almost certain he is there. But if we are to find this stronghold in a timely manner, it seems gaining the Undo's trust remains the swiftest path forward. I only hope our deeds are enough to win this battle. Thank you for assisting me with my investigations. I shall seek out our companions and share what we've learned. Much as I would like to tell you to sit down and leave the rest to us, your condition demands that we make all reasonable haste. If you are not too wary, it may be useful to speak with the House's Horn again, and ask if there is aught else he is willing to divulge. Ah, Alphanaz, friend. You and your companions have done much to repair the damage caused by the waters parted.
Anything else you can do? Have you been to the walls of the Forgotten? The remnants of the Northwest, yes. You visited them unbidden? Shh. Could it be that your footsteps were guided by the ancients? I believe it may be so. Listen then, and I will tell you of our plans to bring light to the walls, that we might answer the shining call of the illuminated land. We have requested a finless craftsman to shape us a sacred lamp. He is odd for a land dweller, choosing as he does to live in the ocean, but his skill is beyond question. It is concerning, however, that we have heard nothing of his progress. If you were to visit this artisan and return with a long-awaited light, then any doubt as to your purpose would be laid to rest. His name is Grenold. You will find him in his workshop in the middle structure to the south. Everyone's got like a mad fucking stutter.
Oh, that's just great, that is. Me mind's playing tricks on me now. Look, Grenold, someone's coming to visit you at the bottom of the bleeding ocean. I might be as your ghost, eh? Go on, foul shade. Feast yourself on me rotten soul. I've got no use for it. Craftsman, what kind of craft is more pointless than a sea slug with a diamond hammer? And that's an insult to bloody sea slugs. Eh? You wouldn't be trying to raise me spirits now, would you, Spirit? Not what you'd expect from a servant of the netherworld. Does it really come to this? What's that supposed to mean? Not impressed with what you see, lad? Aye, well, I might have let myself go a bit. This was meant to be me underwater sanctuary, a place where I could concentrate on my work far from the distractions of the outside world. And yet, here you stand. Not so damn important that you dive all the way down to the bottom of the bleeding tempest to bother me. Ah, the Ondo's lamp. God's cussed me up the head. I've not so much as made a start. I'm worth less than a sea slug, nay, the slime left by a sea slug. Me delivery dates long past, me workbench is untouched, and I call myself a bleeding artisan. You've heard their beliefs, have you? Bringing light to them ruins will be an act of deep religious and cultural significance. And it was my privilege as a craftsman to be tasked with providing a ritual instrument worthy of the occasion, but I just can't bloody well. Ah, me mind's a bleeding blank. It's like I pissed away me last drop of inspiration. Tell me you've got something that to show me. Something to give me a muse, a right good kick up the arse. You know, want to honor the coming of these ancients, so their answering light's got to blaze the right kind of brightness. Like the spark of life caught in a crystal. But just being sparkly is not enough. It's got to dance with joy and sorrow and a sense of hardship endured. You know what I mean? Oh no. No. Iron bellows for sentimental reasons, and the notes of bond. X11 for white. seem to be like... Joe. Damn, this is confusing shit. Joe's right. Pretty funny quest name, Glorious Bat Stewards. Okay, X25 9 and Y16 5. That was Y? Is that not wrong? Alright, it says I have to complete any section of these quest types. Strange. It's becoming Final Fantasy XI with this shit. It really is. It's like weird. Quests within quests within quests. Pretty soon I'll be force feeding corn to some old man. Increase some status that I've never heard of. we go. Teleported to the... Oh, no, I didn't teleport to the wrong one. I teleported to the one that was for the other one. Ah, God. Back. god, this is so confusing. No. I just want to die. Alright. Hollow Pursuits. Serig. Quadrivium. It's a big old quest line I gotta do here, apparently. Shit. I think it would behoove the writers of the, Oh, you know what? I looked at this fucking guy a while ago when I was passing by. I should have just done it. Let me guess, you're standing in front of Sarek, bounty hunter non-peril, because you've a mind to aid me in felling the dread Phronesis. Do I have the right of it, or do I have the right of it? You have the right of it. Willing to throw caution to the wind and strike off to do battle with a nigh indomitable foe, eh? Why, I've got a feeling the two of us will get along just fine. Allow me to elaborate. Phronesis isn't just your run-of-the-mill stray sin eater. It's one of the nastiest the realm has seen, formed from the remains of one of those goddamn warrior of light. I think I did this. I think I might have canceled this quest at one point. There are 4 of them, all told, crawled up from the bowels of the deepest hell after being buried for nigh on a century. If the tales are true, people have come to call them the cardinal virtues. Before he was transformed into a sin eater, Phronesis was none other than Archmagus Nilebert, whose baleful magics were feared the realm over. Though it's only been a few short years since he first showed up in Amarang, he's already preyed on far too many innocents with his foul sorcery. Not keen on seeing their trade routes disrupted, the local merchants have placed a healthy bounty on his head. Of course, I'd like nothing more than to fell the fiend single-handed and claim the entire bounty for myself. Unfortunately, circumstances have dictated that I recruit a companion, and that's where you come in. Provided you can prove to me that you possess the rather specialized set of skills that I require. I promise I'll make it worth your while. Not a bad offer, wouldn't you say? If you fancy yourself up to the task, come find me in Amarang. I mean to see you over there shortly. Oh, that's annoying. Like right outside there. Hey. Waste of time. came. It's good to see someone who isn't all talk. As fortune would have it, another Sin Eater, a far less opposing specimen than Phronesis, of course, has been sighted just to the west of here. Prove to me you have the skill to back up your words, and we'll talk further. These are interesting. It's almost like like the replacement for the job things, the job missions. Because I don't have any Black Mage missions per se. Good show, friend. I wasn't sure what to expect from you, but seeing you in battle has left me with little doubt. It seems I found myself a formidable ally, and so I'll extend the offer in earnest. Help me hunt down Phronesis, and we'll split the bounty down the middle. Well, what do you say? That's the spirit. Now there's more you should know before we proceed. Come with me to Mord Souk, my base of operations, and I'll fill you in on the details. Gal. Welcome to Mord Souk, friend. As you can see, it's a bustling trading post frequented by merchants from across the realm. At least it was before Phronesis showed up and started preying on unwitting travelers. Hence the bounty, you see. The lucrative reward has attracted the attention of one capable bounty hunter after the next, yet the fiend still roams free. You can probably imagine why. Those few who have seen Phronesis and returned to tell the tale speak of the great horrors they witnessed. Cavernous black holes materializing out of thin air, swallowing everything around them into the abyss. People have taken to calling them the Hollows. Rumor has it that one barely has time to lay eyes on Phronesis before he summons forth the Hollows, which proceed to consume everything in sight. And I do mean everything. Just the other day, an entire caravan was devoured by the Hollows, leaving only nothingness behind. Mages have postulated that these holes are literally tears in the fabric of our reality, gateways to other worlds, to put it another way. At any rate, suffice to say that the next man to come back from the void will be the first. And yet there's something odd about it all. Witnesses say that Phronesis doesn't seem to go out of his way to prey on people or settlements. He simply shambles across the waste, summoning hollows one after the next. And the destruction follows as a matter of course. Needless to say, drawing too near to the field is tantamount to suicide. Even attacks from afar will have been all but futile, as Phronesis simply summons the hollows to consume every incoming arrow. With every conceivable means of attack foiled, even the most savvy bounty hunters have all but thrown up their hands, even though the bounty now stands at some 9 or 10-fold the original amount. I'm of a different mind, however. The way I see it, if only there were a way to neutralize the hollows, we'd more than stand a chance against Phronesis himself. This is why I require your services. Your easy triumph over the Sin Eater spoke clear. You're a mage of no common skill. If anyone has the arcane knowledge and aptitude to help me figure out a way to defend against the hollows, it's you. Don't worry, I fully intend to shoulder my share of the burden, and so I plan to gather all of the information we need before asking you to put yourself in harm's way. And with that, I'd best get to work. Once I've formulated a proper plan of attack, we'll talk again. Until then, I suggest you continue to hone your casting skills. The battle that awaits us will not be an easy one. Ah, there you are, and your timing couldn't be better. As luck would have it, a little bird told me that Phronesis was sighted in the vicinity not long ago. Don't you worry, I have no intention of rushing in like a fool. My plan is to shadow the Sin Eater from afar, that we might observe the hollows with our own eyes and formulate a suitable plan of attack. To that end, I procured this mannequin here from a merchant acquaintance of mine at the Crystarium. By setting it on Phronesis' trail, I mean to gauge just how wide of a berth we must keep from the fiend so as to not be sucked up in the void. Shed no tears for the little fellow, friend. His sacrifice will be the key to our success. And yet, as you can see, he's not quite in the best state of repair. Pray lend me a hand in procuring what we need to get him back on his feet. You're a lifesaver, friend. I just spotted nasty-looking sand-skin Sibley lurking about to the east of here, and I do believe one of their tendons should serve well to put some spring back in the little fellow's step. Snag one for me, and I'll see if it repairs. How the fuck I didn't grab that before. Sometimes I gotta wonder about myself. Any luck finding that tendon? For my part, I've acquired something that should serve as a makeshift gear. It cost me an arm and a leg, but hey, if it helps us claim that bounty in the end, it'll be more than worth it. Perfect. Yes, I reckon this is durable and elastic enough to replace the mannequin's snap drive belt. I'll fetch my toolbox and get started straight away. In the meantime, why don't you scout us out a suitable lookout point? Phronesis was last sighted just southeast of town. Try to find us a spot on higher ground, out of sight from the main thoroughfare. Ho there, friend. As you can see, our clockwork friend is back in tip-top shape. And since it appears you found us the perfect lookout spot, why don't we get down to work? I'll kindle us a fire. We might be here a while. Well, I'll be. There's the bastard. Look closely now and hold your gaze. You must witness the sheer horror with your own two eyes. No, we mustn't send out the mannequin too soon. If Phronesis sees it, he may very well blast it to bits before it has a chance to investigate the hollows. Hey, I used to have that outfit. And there he goes. I'll send the mannequin in to trail him. Let's sit back and enjoy the show. Just as I expected, gone without a trace, shed no tears for our little friend. Through his sacrifice, we now know just how much distance we must keep from the hollows to avoid being sucked into the void. Now it's our turn. Let's edge a bit closer and see what we can observe. Mind you, take care not to wander too close, lest you fancy a vacation to a dark, shadowy abyss. as if a shadowy whirlwind rages inside, ready to suck anything and everything into the void. I've seen many a horrific sight in my day, but this sends a shiver up the spine. Let me out. It's so dark in here. Why the pale face, friend? You look as if you've never seen. You look as if you've seen a ghost. The voice, you say? From inside the hollow. But that's impossible. Is anybody out there? Please help. Help me. Help me get out of here. Are you alive? Is that a voice? Is someone out there? If you can hear me, please, you must help me. I can't see anything. No road, no trees, not even an ether current to follow. Which way do I go? How do I get out of this place? Is it a lie? Deception? This voice? What in the God's name is it saying? The voice of a boy, you say, claims he's lost inside with no ether current to follow. It sounds like he's adrift in the flow, not unlike what would happen if an etherite to which one was teleporting was destroyed mid-journey. Wait a minute. What if there were some way you could channel your ether into the void? Might that not allow your etheric form to serve as a beacon of sorts to guide the child back to us? Of course, not that I know how we'd go about that. You reckon you could do just that? I won't even think of asking now. Do your damnedest. Wicked White, I knew you were no ordinary sinner, but even still, you find ways to surprise me. Where am I? Well, I'll be damned. There was a child inside. Our little expedition has left us with more questions than answers, eh? But for now, this boy needs our care. Let us carry him back to Mord Suk and find him a warm bed and some nourishment. Everywhere's warm out here. What are you talking about? Come on. Come on, man. Come on. The boy's resting now. He's weak, but not wounded, at least far as I can tell. Needless to say, his presence raises questions. Are there others trapped on the other side of the hollows? If so, might they also be returned to our world alive? There is much we must ask him when he awakens. On another subject, this might be an odd question, but have you ever looked after a child before? What do you think? That makes two of us. Bounty hunters like me don't get much opportunity for babysitting. Still, until we can track down the boy's parents, I suppose I have a little choice but to look after him myself. I suppose the first order of the day should be to get some food in his belly. He does look terribly pale after all. He thinks I'll go hunting for some meat. No, perhaps I should take him to a physician first? After all, he may be suffering from some ailment inscrutable to the eye. Or maybe I shouldn't. Ah, damn it all, I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Ah, there you are. You'll be happy to know that the boy is awake and seems to be no worse for the wear. Physically speaking, at least. There's just one rub, you see. He has no recollection of where he came from, or just how he managed to get swallowed up into the void. In fact, other than his own name, Tainer, he can't remember much of anything at all. He seems a good lad, mind you. Eats my half-assed cooking with a smile and nary a word of complaint, and I reckon he's hurting inside, and badly. We must reunite him with his parents with all due speed. I suggest that he go for a stroll around Mord Souk, in the hopes that the sights might help jog his memories. He can't have wandered far. Why don't you go check on him? Do not tell me. You're the one who rescued me from the flow, yes? I feel from you the same warmth that reached out to me when I was adrift in the ether. Well, I'll be damned. The boy's a sharp one. And that's not the least of it. The carer who examined him said they could feel great power welling up from within him. Despite his young age, Tainer here seems to possess a remarkable command of the magical arts. Perhaps I do, and yet I cannot say. Try as I might, I can recall nothing of who I am or where I came from, only the darkness. No need for apologies, boy. You did well just to make it back to us. Speaking of which, can you remember anything at all of what you felt when you were adrift in the void? That I remember... At least I think I do. I recall a vague sensation of someone passing alongside me. Indeed, I believe this is what roused me from my slumber. If the Hollows truly are a gate between worlds, that would mean that someone recently traveled from ours to another, or from another to ours. But that's not possible. Or is it? You'd be surprised. You know something I don't, friend? Worry not. I pry for details. Ah, well. No sense racking our brains over matters beyond our comprehension. Let's concentrate on what we can do, namely finding the boy here a home. No doubt his memories will come back to him in due time. You truly do that for me? But the two of you have already saved my life. I couldn't possibly burden you any further. Ha! It's no burden at all. Besides, if we can figure out just who you are, and where you came from, it just might lead us to the answers we seek. Now, let's consider the options. One possibility is that you're an orphan, all alone in this world, with not a soul to care or look after you. And yet, this seems unlikely. Yes, the mystical powers you possess say otherwise. If you are truly as skilled in magic as they say, then it stands to reason that someone trained you in the art. Who is this master? Who this master of yours is, and whether you are of their blood or simply receive their tutelage. This I cannot say, but either way, I'm certain they are worried sick about you. If that truly is so, I would very much like to meet this person, too. That settles it then. Let's get down to business. I took the liberty of inquiring around Mord Souk and the Crystarian. Unfortunately, there have been no reports of missing persons matching Tainer's description, which means that we have no choice but to take our search elsewhere. I know of a merchant in town whose travels often take him far afield. Let us have a talk with him and see if he's heard any helpful news. Rumors of a missing boy, you say? Funny that you ask. It's a long shot, I reckon, but I overheard something the other day that might be of use. On my way to Mordsuk, I stopped over at the inn at Journey's Head. Here I met an ailing mage. As the carriers told it, he'd been ambushed by a sin eater and was separated from his child in the battle. Bloody hells, could it be? If the sin eater that attacked the poor man was Phronesis, that would explain everything. This man you speak of, he could be my father? We must go to him at once. Agreed. I only hope that the man is... No, there's no point in presuming the worst. Let's make for the inn and see what the carriers there can tell us. Worth it. Worth it. Save me time. Save me time, my God. Oh there, I hear there's a mage in your care who's lost his boy. Well, I do believe we have him right here. I fear there must be some mistake. The boy in question has already been found. This is him, right here. What? So it wasn't my father after all. This boy with you, he too has been separated from his family? Just so. We heard that a man here was looking for a son, and we just hoped. Oh, alas, it seems it wasn't meant to be. But there are many people here, yes? Might I ask around and see if any of the others are my family? But of course, yet many of the people here are quite ill, and in many cases, in considerable pain. It's not a place for a young child to walk around unattended. Indeed it is not. Guess means either myself or Sir here should accompany him. I'll go with him. The walk might help me take my mind off things. Not a bad idea, if the lad doesn't mind. I reckon Tainer would rather be with someone of his own age. Take his mind off things. Speaking of which, how's the boy's father holding up? I fear the poor man has already departed on his journey. He is a man no longer. The child insisted upon staying by his father's side until the last. I permitted this out of respect for him, though part of me regrets the choice. None so young should suffer such horrors. It was some small solace to learn that he has living relatives who reside at the Crystarium. In fact, I was just making preparations to escort him there myself. I see. Reckon we should also find someone to look after Tainer as well. Don't get me wrong, friend. I haven't given up on the prospect of finding the boy's family, but we have no other leads, and a deadly sin eater still on the loose. If the lad tags along with us every step of the way, he's far more likely to end up dead or worse than to ever reunite with his family. Here's what I propose. We find someone to watch after Tainer for the time being, get back on the hunt, and gather whatever clues we can about his origins along the way. Is there not more we can do? I too wish there was more we could do for the lad, but think of it this way. If we don't do something about that damned sin eater, who knows how many poor children will end up like Tainer. Look, I don't like this any more than you do, but it's the best we can do for the boy, given our circumstances. At any rate, let's find him and share the news. Don't worry, it's my decision, and I intend to take responsibility for it. Bad news, friend. It seems the two young ones got into a quarrel of sorts, and Tainer's up and run away. Seems the lad mentioned how he'd come out from one of the hollows. The other boy put two and two together and figured he'd been attacked by a sin eater. Then I said, My dad was attacked by a Sin Eater, and then he turned into one himself, so I asked, what if you turn into a Sin Eater too? Tanner's face went all white. He kept saying, what do you mean? What do you mean? Over and over and over again. I couldn't take it anymore. Before I knew it, I was shouting at him, shut up! Just shut up! I bet you're turning into a Sin Eater already. Why? Why did I say such a mean and nasty thing? Don't be so hard on yourself, lad. Both of you have had a rough go of it these past few days. Nobody could blame either of you for feeling a bit on edge. Well, we must hurry and find Tanner before he comes to harm. Let's split up. I'll search to the west and you take the east. Be careful out there. Yep. I have to do these, fuck, what are they called? It's like role quests. I have to complete an entire section of role quests. Still up, man, huh? That's crazy. It's getting pretty late. When I heard the clamor of battle, I feared the worst, but I see you have everything under control. Are you okay, lad? Forgive me. I don't deserve this kindness. I was just so scared. I was worried about what would become of me if I never recovered my memories. And then I started thinking, what if I ended up like that boy's father? What if it's already happening to me? That's one matter you needn't worry yourself with. The carer who examined you told me as much. You suffered no direct wounds. You're in no more danger of turning into a Sin Eater than Sir me. That's a little insensitive right now, buddy. Is that so? That's good to hear, but I must apologize to that boy. I should have known better than to badger him about such things, especially after what happened to his father. Funny thing, Nat. He was saying the same thing about you. You both have good hearts, lad, and you've been through more than any man should. There's no need to be ashamed about your feelings. Lies. There is still so much I do not understand about this world. Why does no one here know me? Am I doomed to be alone for the rest of my days? Why? Why must it be this way? If only I could remember something, anything. I'm sick of not knowing who I am. I'm sick of being alone. He's from my world, that's why. You're from my world, boy. Now it's your turn, Taina, and do not be disheartened by your last attempt. Even the greatest of mages have known failure. Your command of magic is equal of my own. If I can succeed, there is no reason why you cannot. Free your mind of worry and focus. That's going to be the guy who turned. Thank you, Nilebert. I shall try my best. Bwah. So he fucked it up, and then he got sucked in. looking white. Are you alright, sir? I remember now. I was standing here on these blighted plains, my head hung low in shame. Then Nilebert turned to me with a smile and heartening words. Nilebert, why does the name sound so familiar? I reckon we've much to discuss, but not in this godforsaken place. Let's head back to the inn and see if we can get to the bottom of this. Tanner, are you alright? I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have spoken to you that way. Forgive me for reacting as I did. I'm fine. In fact, I seem to have recovered some of my memories. Really? That's wonderful. Maybe you won't feel so scared and alone anymore. I'm leaving to go live in the Crystarium with my relatives. Promise me you'll come visit? I mean, after you get your memories back and all, of course. It's a promise. Until next time, my friend. I knew that you two would work things out. Now, let's return to Mord Sook. We have more than our share of questions that need answering. As I saw it, the first you fainted all of a sudden. When you came to, a portion of Tanner's memories had returned. What in the world happened out there? The power to look into the past, eh? And you're certain that's what Sir described matches up with your recollection of the past? I don't know how to break this to you, lad, but your friend Nirebold that we were with that day, he's no ordinary boy. He's none other than the very man who became Phronesis, one of those goddamn warriors of light. If he was just a young child in your memories, that means that what you saw took place over 100 years ago. Would that it were just a coincidence, another boy by the same name, but no, judging from the formidable command of magic, we can only assume it was him. On the way back, I managed to recall some more about Nybert and myself. We were taken in by a group of mages, a consortium of sorts. They were searching for a means to open a hole into another world and were recruiting young children with high magical aptitude for the task. Nilebert and myself were the two they chose. You can't be serious, and yet that would explain the Sin Eater's ability to summon those damn hollows. And if you possess the same knowledge and training as Nilebert did, it can also explain why you were able to survive in there all that time. But what I don't understand is, why haven't you aged at all? I cannot say for sure, and yet my memories are slowly coming back to me. In time, I may be able to help you find a way to close the hollows. You'd be a lifesaver if you could, but don't overburden yourself. You're still recovering after all. In the meantime, don't worry. Sir and I will see that you are safe. I'd thought Tanner was just a victim of the Cinear. To think he was actually friends with the man himself. Back when he was still a man. This can't be simple coincidence. Yes, I'm convinced of it now. The child holds the key to defeating Phronesis. We must keep him safe and not let him out of our sights. Besides, look at how hard he's trying to recover his memories. I'm not so heartless as to kick the poor lad aside before he's figured matters out. But we can't very well rush things. You and I will continue to prepare for the battle ahead while waiting for the rest of Tanner's memories to come back to him. That is to say, if that's alright with you, lad. I'm so sorry. I couldn't possibly burden you any further. Look, lad, I've only known you a short while, but I can tell you have a good heart and a good head on your shoulders. I can only begin to imagine the horrors you've been through, not to mention the fears and uncertainty you face even now. But I want you to promise me this. No more apologies. You're no burden to us, not in the least. You're a valuable member of our band, and as long as you're willing, I want you with us. Isn't that right, sir? I see. Thank you, Sarek. Thank you, sir. I will aid your quest in whatever way I can. Now that's more like it. We're counting on you, lad. Yeah, you know, I didn't think there was, but I didn't realize... I didn't realize this was going to be part of the thing. A quest that's not even added. It's just a role quest thing that's like 8 quests long. Good news, friend. Tanner here has told me that his memories are starting to come back to him. There's one recollection in particular he says he's eager to discuss with the two of us. Well, tell us, lad. What is it? As time goes by, memories of my earlier days return to me piece by piece. Piece by piece! Nalbert and I were born to members of a great consortium of mages. From our earliest years, we were tutored in the magical arts by some of the realm's greatest scholars. The consortium's leaders sought to find a way to open a hole in time and space, a portal to other worlds from which they could summon forth beasts of great power. Nilebird and I were chosen to participate in the research. Summoning great beasts from beyond our world? You're a mage. Sir, is that even possible? Perish the thought. Indeed, even if it were possible, I shudder to think of the nightmares that would emerge from beyond the rift. Furthermore, I don't understand. Why ever would they use 2 young boys for such a dangerous experiment? The beasts our masters sought to summon reside in the planes most distant from our own. Reaching across such a great distance requires a tremendous store of innate ethereal power. And so our masters set about to breed the perfect mage. Marriages were arranged to wed the mightiest members of the consortium to one another, in hopes that they would bring forth children theretofore unheard of magical aptitude. Finally, they succeeded. And so you were born, and Nilebert. Indeed, from even before we could speak, we were taught the complex incantations required to breach the boundaries between worlds. We practiced these spells day after day, night after night, for what seemed an eternity. At long last, we were deemed ready to attempt the summoning. Sadly, the experiment ended in failure. The pull from beyond the rift was too strong to resist, and I was sucked into a hollow of my own creation. There I remained trapped, alone and adrift in that empty void, until Sir called me back to this world. Alas, over a century has passed since that fateful day. That's the one thing I don't understand. If so many years have truly passed, why is it that you have not aged even a whit? I cannot say for certain, but I remember the words of one of my teachers. The rift is not unlike a border between countless worlds, a place that exists beyond time and space. If it is true that the rift exists outside of our concept of time, then it is all too possible that even seconds spent in that empty pocket could correspond to months, years, or decades in our world. So you've returned to us just as you were that day, even while over a century has passed for the rest of us. But why didn't Nilebert save you? Shouldn't it have been as simple as opening up another portal to the void where you were trapped? I fear that would be close to impossible. Opening the portal and reaching this far into the rift as we did required all of our energies to be focused in unison. So in losing you, not only did Nilebert lose his friend, he lost his only chance at saving you. Talk about being dealt a rough hand. Fear not, I have good news to share as well. I do believe I've managed to recall the incantations needed to summon and manipulate the hollows. Summoning beasts from beyond the rift is far beyond my powers, but I just might be able to seal up the hollows Phronesis so enjoys summoning. What say you, friends? Shall I give it a try? Oh, now that's music to my ears, but let's not be too hasty. After all, the last time we tried to use this magic, there were some, complications, to say the least. Yes, we must take the necessary precautions before continuing confronting Phronesis in earnest. Let us meet outside the village, where Tainer can test out his magic from afar. Man, every time I underestimate Joe, like, telling me how long shit's gonna take, I am sorely mistaken each time. Each and every time. Yeah. I think I have at least 2 more of these quests to do. It's crazy, man. It's 4:15. Getting sleepy. Wicked White, you did it, lad. Sadly, I have not the strength to reach further beyond, nor keep the portal open for more than a few moments. No, I will need further training before I can face. Phronesis, where in the hells did that bastard come from? Damn it all, I'm too close. I can feel it pulling me in. No, Nilebert, these are my friends. You mustn't hurt them.
This isn't good. The cave-in's completely sealed off the tunnel behind us. We've no recourse but to press on without our companions. You heard her. What'll it be? I suppose it falls to us to slay the beast and collect the bounty. Perhaps you and your band would care to take the lead. Ha, spare me your japes. You've no intention of giving up your prize. Mind you, I too made a promise to my companions. A promise I mean to keep. Bah. I told you that splitting up was a bad idea. If Brandon and Ray were here, the second-rate spellcaster would be no match for us. Now, Silva. Let's not forget who our true foe is here. Lamet, you're certain that if we slay this monstrosity, the cave-ins will cease? According to the miners, the beast was first sighted on the same day the tremors began, its very presence sucking the mountain dry of its ether. We dwarves know these caves as well as we know our own bodies. Trust me. Then I suppose we'd best make short work of it before everything comes crashing down. Hey, where do you think you're going? My apologies. I took your ceaseless prattling as an invitation to proceed on my own. Think yourself clever, do you? You've uncommon confidence to think you can fell the beast without aid. Answer me this. Why is it you're so intent on claiming the bounty for your own? The bounty? Why, indeed. At any rate, unless you have a mind to stand around here until we all get crushed, we'd best be moving on, yes? Finally, something we can agree on. So I have a proposal. What say we band together until our battle here is won? The tremors grow stronger. No doubt cave-in is imminent. Let us vanquish the enemy with our combined strength and quit this place before it becomes our tomb. Until the battle is won, then. After that, I go my own way. Kind of bare bones here. This guy doesn't have shit for abilities. so weird playing as like a bullshit mage. The white mage just a little more. Too bad you can't make your own lally ho. Super disappointing. God, this mage kind of sucks. This is pretty cool though. I like this little storyline. It's fun. I don't hate it. I just hate the fact that I'm not done. I've got this desire to finish this fucking expansion. Cause I gotta play that fucking Ghost of Tsushima. Gotta finish this shit up. This guy's mana pool is terrible. He's just a fucker. I need Blizzard 3 twice. Mana back up. Sucks too. That's okay. I'll start mentioning. It's kind of cool that I finally got one that is a class I actually know. Usually it's a DPS class. This time it's I anticipate all of these little quests being connected to the Warriors of Darkness. All these little job things. Now to find a way out. The tremors continue, but why? The Fiend has been vanquished and its ether returned to the mountain. We were wrong. No, it was the creature itself. Not the creature itself that was causing the quakes. Ah yes, the crystal courses with nigh inconceivable power, a vast wellspring of ether accumulated over the ages. Yes, the beast was but a hungry creature drawn here by the stone, as was I. You had no interest in the bounty all along. The stone has been left unchecked for too long. The sheer volume of ether it houses now is so vast and overwhelming it threatens to bring the entire mountain down. For how many years have I searched for it, this precious relic that could afford me the power needed to save my friend? You mean to take the stone from this place? Then what would happen to the mountain? If the ether doesn't return to the earth, it's but a matter of time until the mine collapses. The miners, those who live at the foot of the mountain, countless lives will be lost. Is there not we can do? There's no time. Taina, my friend. Damn it! Damn it all! The tremors have stopped. Taina, pray forgive me. I promise you this. As long as I walk this earth, I shall never, never give up hope. The stone was yours to do with as you pleased, and still you chose the fate of many over that of your friend. In return for your sacrifice, I would make you an offer. Come with us, and let us join you in your search for a means to save your comrade.
The life of an adventurer isn't an easy one, but I dare say you strike me as the sort who just might enjoy it. So, what say you? We'll travel the realm together and lend our strength to whatever unfortunate souls we encounter along the way. And who knows, before you know it, we just might stumble upon a way to rescue your Tainer.
I would like that very much.
Sorry, I'm trying to write down this for the review.
Tainer, forgive me. I may have failed you today, but mark my words, for as long as I walk this land, I will not abandon hope. I will find a way to bring you back to us. But today I find myself in the company of new companions, and for now I must lend them my strength, just as they lent theirs to me.
Sir, are you alright? Well, we're not. Phronesis is long gone. I launched a few arrows in its direction while I was distracted by Tainer's spell, and it just stole away. Anyhow, I'm glad you're awake and on your feet again. Come now, let's hurry back to Mord's suit before the bastard has a change of heart and comes back for us. Too lazy. You really gave us a scare back there, clutching your head in pain with a deadly senator in plain sight. Let me guess, you had another one of your visions, didn't you? White take me, so that's how Nilbert and Ardbert met up. Just goes to show you that in times of crisis, even the bitterest of rivals can turn fast friends. Now let's see if I have this straight. Nilbert made it his life's mission to save Tainer here. Knowing that his own energies wouldn't suffice, he went in search of a relic that would afford him the etheric power needed to reach beyond the world. And deep in the mines that day he found it, yet in the end he decided to sacrifice the stone in his own cause, to save the lives of the countless innocents who called the mountain home. And so did he take his first step down the path of a hero, a warrior of light. So that's why he came back to this place, why he still summons the Hollows as he did so many years ago. Aye, there can be no doubting it, even now that he's become a sinner, bereft of memory, reason, and any sense of his own actions. The ghastly shell of what was once Nilbert still haunts the wastelands, searching for a way to bring back his old friend. I only knew him as a child, and the whole idea of senators and warriors of light was also new to me. Even as the pieces came together, I could not truly believe that Nilbert and this Phronesis were one and the same. But when our gazes first met, standing out there in the wastes, in an instant, I knew it without question. This was my friend, a friend who had been searching for me all these years. At last, I know what I must do. I must stop Phronesis, that my dear friend may finally find peace. I would do the same. Thank you, my friends. In the battle, I was able to push Phronesis' hollow away from Sarek, if only for a short distance. With more training, I'm certain I can learn to close them up entirely. A After all we've already seen from you, I have no reason to doubt you. If you're game, so are we. Finally, some cause for hope, eh? But still, we must exercise caution. The last time the boy worked his magic, our foe showed up faster than you can say Phronesis. While this might be simple a coincidence, the likelihood is high that the casting of the spell itself summoned the Sand Eater to us. You'd best avoid casting any similar incantations until we're prepared for the final confrontation. I want you to stay close for now, devote yourself to your studies, and hone your skills to whatever degree you can in the safety of the village. In the meantime, Sir and I will redouble our training efforts as well. Psh, bullshit. Should we succeed in finding a way to counteract the Hollows, it will come down to our firepower versus our foes. We must be at full strength for the battle, lest we allow victory to slip between our fingers. That look in your eyes. Yes, I can see that you have gained much strength since last we met. You'll be pleased to hear that Tainer has managed to make steady progress in his training as well. The boy believes he has regained much of the knowledge and skill he possessed before getting sucked into that pocket of time and space. An admirable feat, considering that it was not long ago he could scarcely remember his own name. And yet, there is one aspect of his training that has yet to be addressed. Put simply, the boy lacks experience in battle. To work the magic necessary to seal up the Hollows, I must maintain perfect focus and clarity of mind. If the battle with Phronesis is my first, I fear my concentration will be disrupted all too easily. And so I thought I'd take the boy out in the wilds, where he might acclimate himself to the battlefield and further hone his command of magic in the process. And yet, we must keep a wide berth if I'm Moran. Were we to encounter Phronesis before we are fully prepared, the results could be disastrous. So I propose that we go on an excursion of sorts. Would you be willing to accompany us? I believe there is much the boy could learn from your example. Excellent. Then let's make for Lakeland. The beast in the forest of the Lost Shepherd should provide a fair challenge for the night. Go get a jab. Get a foot jab. Why is everybody a Berg in this world? Or a Bert? Bert and Berg. It's weird. Fuck. Come on, fuck. there he is. Now, shall we get down to something the matter? How do you like my new clothes, sir? Not only are they stylish, why, I can just feel the power welling up from deep within me. They were a present from Sarek. Isn't he the best? It was a simple investment, nothing more. We must seize every possible advantage if we hope to triumph over our foe. But enough idle chit-chat. We have work to do, sir. I would ask you to begin by setting an example for the boy, showing him precisely how you conduct yourself in battle. We can't very well just toss him in the Wolverines all on his own, can we? So why don't you get out there and hunt one down for us? Tainer, watch carefully and let Sir show you how it's done. Oh, hang on, it's turning to shit real fast.